Welcome to another session of learning grammar by Make Me Learn. Today's class will be about report writing. This is a very simple, I know you will be telling me that everything is simple for you, ma'am, but what about us? This is again a simple one, you have a graph like this. Either, there are different kinds of bar graphs. This is a horizontal bar graph. We have a vector graph, we have a line graph, we have a sector graph, we have a pie chart. Pie chart and sector graph are the same. What we have to do, why graph, most of the people, they are surprised to look at the English question papers because it has a graph in it and it has a sector graph in it. It has so many things, and people asked me, why have you written all these things? Are you going to teach maths? It's not like teaching math. We're just trying to improvise our language, our ability to write something. After having learned our idioms and phrases, pronouns, articles and prepositions and all those things, one after the other, when we were talking about those also, I told you that learning grammar at that basic level improvises us. It helps us to reach a particular point wherein we can develop essays and paragraphs on our own. So the pronouns that we have learned, the linkers that we have learned, the idioms and phrases, the phrasal verbs that we have learned, all of them we will be putting into use in this report writing. Report writing is a 5-mark question, dear students. So it has a choice with speech writing. Any of the two you can be writing, but let us learn both of them. Examination hall, at that point of time, whatever you feel is comfortable, whether a speech or a report, anyway you can write that. So this question being for 5 marks, it says not more than 200 words, not more than 120 words, but please do not be foolish enough to sit and count the words. Okay, then nobody gives you marks depending on the number of words that you write. What content you write is more important. So let us just think that for a 5-mark question, our answer should be somewhere close to 3/4 of a page. Okay, in your paper, in your booklet that you get in your second PU, so you will have to write down almost 3/4 of the page, leaving around 3 lines or 4 lines or something like that. So keep that in mind, and then you will have to elaborate on the point of this, on the basis of this graph. So when we start writing report, we'll have to write it in 3 steps or 3 different places as 3 different steps. The first one, it will be something like an introduction. So the introduction that you give to it, or the first aim of the report, it just talks the same thing about what is given in the question. For example, this question is about the production of maize and the sugarcane, the rise in the production of maize and sugarcane over these 40 to 50 years. From 1960 onwards, what is the change? What is the difference in the production of maize and sugarcane? So that is the question. So your introduction will be the graph. The graph talks to us about the production of maize and sugarcane from the year 1960 to 2000. So that will be your introduction. That's the first part. Second one, it will be the body of the report. So wherein in the body of the report, you will be explaining each one of them. You will explain everything in detail. See, you can choose either the x-axis or the y-axis, and then you can give an explanation. So you can talk about the y-axis. This one is in lakhs, lakh tons. Okay, so you can talk about this, or else you can talk about the year. Anything, anyhow you feel is comfortable. So you can say that when you start the body of your report, you say during the year 1960, in the 1960s, the production of maize was somewhere around 20 lakh tons, while the production of sugarcane was around 5 lakh tons. Then it gradually, and in the year 1970 also, the same thing was retained. It remained the same. That is around 20 lakh tons of maize and around 5 lakh tons of sugarcane. But during the 1980s, the production of maize came down while there was an increase in the production of sugarcane from 5 tons to 10 tons, while the production of maize came down to around 15 lakh tons. So that is how you explain everything. Let me finish off with these two also. During the year 1990s, the production of maize still more further decreased from 15 lakh ton to 10 lakh tons, while the production of sugarcane, it rose from 10 lakhs to around 15 lakh tons. During the year 2000, there was a steep rise in the production of sugarcane, and it went up to around 20 lakh tons, while the production of maize, it's still more, it further decreased to somewhere around 12 lakh tons or 10 lakh tons, depending on what you see here, okay, around 10 lakh tons it was reduced to. So you just write down all these things. Nobody asks you for your reason. You don't have to scratch your head too much as to what reason you should be giving, why all these things have happened. In case there is a clue given in your question about what the reason could be, then you'll have to write. Otherwise, just write down whatever you see, just write as you can, explain as neatly and as simply as you can explain, and then finish it off. Do not stick on to too much of numerical terms there, okay? Like when I talk about 7 lakh tons, let it be like SEVEN, 7 lakh tons. Okay? Please try to retain it in spellings. Do not write the numerical values. I know it is very easy to write 7 lakh when compared to the spellings, but this one will be more valuable than your numbers. So you just have to write and finish with the body of the report. Then finally, when you talk about the conclusion of it, you just say overall, if possible, you can give a small reason on that too, if possible. If you, whichever you feel is more convenient and more, kind of suitable reason, if possible you give. Otherwise, overall, you write down here in this case, overall in these 50 years, 5 decades, we have seen that there is a drastic fall in the growth of maize, while there is a lot more of increase in the production of sugarcane. So that shows that India has started growing sugarcane more. Finished. And then you write down the conclusion of the report, and that completes your report. Okay. This is about report writing. So you'll have to just write down. You don't have to copy anything. For you in your examination, you will not copy the graph. You will just write down a report on it. So you write the heading as report writing and then continue. Just start with you don't have to mention also. Don't mention introduction, body and conclusion. No headings, no subheadings. It should be one complete united paragraph about the report writing. So this is report writing. So we'll talk about another example and conclude it off. Probably in the next example, we'll be talking about a sector graph. Okay, now we have another example. I have made it more clear this time. I have written the complete question for you, and then I also have written the mark distribution for this one. So that will give you more clarity as to how you will have to write your paragraph. This pie chart over here, usually it is a comparison, okay? Comparison of these two charts. You have to write a report on age composition of the population of India in 2001 and 2011. So this is a chart wherein it shows the population and the age chart of the people in the year 2001, and this one is about 2011. What we have to do is, we'll have to compare the two and then write down what was the composition of the age in these two, age of the people in these two charts. During these 10 years, what was the change that we could see? See, probably when they take out the census, they talk about the number of people between 0 to 14, and then all these data is collected, and then they just provide a statistical table. So this one shows this. Now let us come to our work of writing a report. Again, as we had discussed in the previous example, the report has to have 3 contents, but remember, you need not write down the heading of any of these 3. You will have to just start writing and then you will have to conclude it off. Don't write down anything like introduction, body and conclusion. Don't write and don't highlight it also. The introduction part of it, you begin the report by saying that the above pie chart or the pie charts given, they show us the age composition of the population of India in the year 2011 and 2001 and 2011. So this still here, whatever I have underlined in the question, that will be your title, or that will be your introduction. Now gradually you will start developing the report. You say that during the year 2001, take one sector of it. Take the 0 to 14 in both the charts, okay? 0 to 14. During the year 2001, the number of people between the age group of 0 to 14 were 34%. While during the year 2011, this number, what has happened? You can see from 34% it has come down to 29%. So you can use the word decrease. So the number here, the percentage has decreased to 29%. Okay. Now take the next factor, next sector, 15 to 59 years. During the year 2001, the number of people or the percentage of people between the age group of 15 to 59 were 59%. While it has made you can see a lot of improvement, or you can see a drastic increase in the number, and it is around 63%, 4% more than the 2001 chart, and it is around 63%. Now go to the next one, the 60 and above category. 2001 there were 7%, while 2011 there were 8%. So this contain, you have to write all these things as the body of your report. So you can't just tell, so you can just guess at least. If you're not very sure, you can at least guess what could be the reason. So you can say that between 2001 and 2011, when we compare the two, we can see that the overall change is in this and that. Okay, there is an increase, there is a decrease, and there are 2 increases here. So that could mean that during the year 2011, more number of children between the age 0 to 14 could not survive because of various reasons, maybe because of the diseases, maybe because of some kind of infections and all those things. So it has reduced, and therefore the mortality rate has increased. So that will be your conclusion. See, don't scratch your head too much about conclusion. Whatever comes to your mind, just a sensible one, finish it off. Okay. So this is the report. Let us now understand how the marks will be distributed. So 2 marks out of 5 mark question here. Out of 5 marks, 2 marks will be given for the presentation of the data. Like how you compare between one chart and the other chart, and how you present it without any kind of foul languages used, any kind of grammatical mistakes that you do. Without all those things, how you represent the data, how you present the data, that will be fetching you 2 marks. And 2 marks for the analysis of the data. Analysis, like whether you see an increase or a decrease, there is a steep increase or a steep decrease, or there is a lot of change. All those things, those words that you use, that will give you 2 marks for analyzing the data, and for 1 mark for expressing it. Your language, your flowery language, and your super grammar that you use in your report writing, in your language writing, that will give you 1 mark. So overall, this will be for 5 marks, and that is how your marks are distributed. All you can do, see, you can't just collect everything and write down. All you can do is read more and more books in English, and then improve your language, only to make you score better in your examination. There's no other way out at all. So you can't practice anything. You don't have any practice problems or any practice questions. If you read this, next time it will be something else. So you can't practice, you can't mug this up. all you can do is you just have to think quietly, sit and then improve, write down with all good English that you have. Okay, this is the second example about report writing. I think these two examples are sufficient for you to understand at least how to write the report, because of you will be aware of the marks that will be allotted for different categories, and you will also be aware of what kind of report you will have to write under what headings. Okay, so this was about report writing. Let us meet in another session with another grammatical topic. So that's all for now.